Let's go Oilers, let's go Oilers. Oilers win, play some La Bamba, baby. What more can be said that hasn't been said before? What more can be done what hasn't been done already? Let's get into it. This is episode 122 of your post-game reaction. LA came in. I honestly expected more of a fight in the dog that was the LA Kings. Did not get it. Now, I'm going to go full into it. I have a lot of notes. I watched a lot of hockey. That was probably the best 3 periods that the Oilers have ever played. Have played this playoffs. Now, conversely, that was probably the worst 3 periods the Kings have played in these playoffs. So much like the Oilers' first period of Game 4, this could be that for the Kings. Unfortunately, it wasn't just 1 period. No. It wasn't 2 periods. No. It was 3 periods of just lackluster, no effort. Shite. I said this before, and I will say it again. The Kings had opportunity in Game 3. Yes, they won Game 3, but they didn't win it in a fashion that scared the Oilers. The Kings won Game 3 on Oilers' mistake. Penalty. Stupid. Referee mishap, high stick. Stupid. That's how the Kings won Game 3. The Kings had a chance to win Game 3 in regulation, and here's why I say that. And yes, I know I'm going back. Why is he going back to Game 3? Why is he talking about Game 3? Talking about Game 3 because the Oilers were up 2. Facts. Follow me here, right? The Oilers were up 2. They blew the lead. LA came back to tie. Excuse me. And they tied it late in the second period. They had a chance in the third period because I'm going to be honest with you, that Oiler team was fragile after the second period. Say what you want, Oiler fans, that third game, second period, the Oilers looked scared. For the first time in a long time, this Oilers team looked like, oh shoot, they might lose this game and lose this series. The Kings didn't come out like gangbusters in the third period like I thought they did, and I did address that in my video. I addressed that in the Game 3 post-game video. They won in overtime. Okay, hurrah. Now we turn the page to Game 4. They do come out like gangbusters. They do get that early 3-0 lead, and then they blow it. And then you can see the wheels on the Oilers turning. You can see the McDavid line turning, the Draisaitl line turning, the depth scoring starting to show up, Kane and Hopkins. Oilers win that. Mucky, clean and good. Oilers win that. We fast forward to tonight, Game 5, where the Oilers now have a 3-2 series lead. It started out well for the Oilers. It was right from puck drop that the Oilers weren't going to be intimidated. It was right from puck drop that the Oilers weren't worried about the Kings. It is almost like that flick of the switch after the first period of Game 4 where the Oilers like, we got our shit kicked in. We don't like this feeling. Let's never have that happen again. Let's flip side this shit. Let's make it happen so that they're the ones getting their shit kicked in and they have to rebuttal us. Earlier on in the series, the Kings had a rebuttal. Absolutely the Kings had a rebuttal. They had to. It was have a rebuttal or you're not playing hockey after this weekend. Those are the facts, folks. Hate me if you want, but I'm just spitting facts over here. There was no rebuttal by the Kings at all. So we go into the first period. Oilers get an early power play. Deservedly so. And on the power play, guess what? That guy scores. And I mean, again, I know I'm going to be nitpicking here. King gets the goal, obviously. It was assisted by Ekholm and Nurse. And I'm going to be nitpicky. That first power play looked bad. It looked like it was way too passy, tentative, almost scared to shoot on net. And honestly, guys, I think the Oilers found Korpisalo's weakness. I think if Korpisalo starts Game 6 for the Kings are done. I think if they start Copley, they're done. Me personally, I think the series is over. I think the Oilers won this series in Game 4. But Korpisalo looked good. He made more saves. He made some amazing saves again tonight. He made the saves that he probably shouldn't have made again, but now he's letting in the soft ones. Now you're seeing why Columbus was so eager to get rid of Korpisalo. Sure, he can make the miraculous stand on your head, do flips in the air type saves, but the ones that are shot into his body or just outside of his body, he's slow reacting to. That's what happened on the King goal. Yes, it was a snipe off the post, but hey, it's a 1-0 lead for the Edmonton Oilers. We move along. We have some more back and forth, some more rough stuff. I like it. Refs are letting them play, much to the dismay of the Kings fans. Oh, that's a penalty. Oh, that's a penalty. Oh, he's hooking. The Kings did a lot of diving, and what they were getting away with in Game 1, 2, and 3, they are no longer getting away with now, folks. The penalties that the Kings were drawing, they are no longer drawing. Let me be 100 on that. The first 3 games, the Kings were drawing a lot of power plays because of their flops and their dives. Now the refs are onto it, and they just don't care. Oh, that was a legit penalty. Probably. But you kind of burned me a few times on those diving calls. I'm not going to call it. Hey, Michael Bunting. Talking to you, right? The whole Kings team has Michael Bunting syndrome. We move on anyways. Draisaitl gets the goal. And I'm excited about this goal. I am going to talk a little bit about this goal. Draisaitl goal assisted by McDavid and Ekholm. I'm kind of excited about this goal. This was a vintage 1984-85 goal. Gretzky in his office, surveying the land, looking left, looking right. Who's he got in front? Oh, it's Curry. Oh, it's Messier. Oh, it's Anderson. Oh, it's name a guy. Instant goal. And that's what this goal was. This goal was McDavid in Wayne Gretzky's office behind the net with the German Gretzky, as he's known here in some parts of Edmonton, scoring a goal. I'm not going to say he was in midair, but he was definitely falling when he took the shot. He wasn't flying per se, but he was definitely falling over. Perfectly placed shot. Again, could have Korpisalo reacted quicker? I guess, but that was just a perfectly placed shot. So, Ekholm 2 assists and 2 goals. Oilers are up 2-0. We're feeling good. We're feeling fine. Let's go back to 1989, as they say. But that was short-lived because, as we all know, love them or hate them, the LA Kings have fight. They will fight most nights. They will battle you most nights. They will bite you, claw you, beat you up until you give in and they score goals. And that's kind of what they did late in that period. Or halfway through the period, sorry. Iafallo gets a goal. Now, I can sit here and say, why was Bouchard and Desharnais on the same line together? It was a line mix-up. The Kings took advantage of that. It was just a really nice play and a really nice goal. Yes, defensive help should have been needed, but the Kings executed a play knowing who was on the ice for detail. And the Kings paid attention to detail and they did what they had to do. Not to be outdone, though. I am very shocked at this. I'm still I rewatched this goal probably 50 times. Late in the first period here, Kulak gets a goal assisted by McLeod and Fogle. Now, this is important to say. this one's important because it wasn't just a goal. It wasn't just a shot from a point that squeaked in. No, this was a forward line that was pressure, forecheck, puck hounding, not giving the Kings breathing space, cycling the puck down. I really like this new line of Fogle, McLeod, and Yamamoto. I honestly think Yamamoto's better suited in the bottom six role. Now, does that mean Yamamoto comes out and we put Dylan Holloway in so Dylan Holloway can be in the bottom six role, get him some playoff times? No, I don't feel like that's the right move because that sends the wrong message to Yamamoto. I think unless there's an injury or Holloway plays himself onto the team, you keep the lineups the same. Now, if you're up 3-0 in a series, the next series, then throw in a line tinkering, and you can afford to lose a game, but then you can afford to lose momentum too. But I digress, and we will talk about that bridge when we try and burn it down later. Kulak gets the goal, and it was a backhand sauce from McLeod, backdoor, one-time snipe show beauty. Korpisalo had no hope in hell of saving that one. So we're back up 3-1. We're living good in Edmonton. We're all pretty happy. We're like, hey, it's a 3-1 lead. We're going to win this game. Walking away, being happy, celebrating the streets. And again, like I said, the Kings are not going to give up and just roll over like a bunch of puppy dogs. No, they are not. Kempe scores late to make it 3-2. Now, say what you want about who was on the ice. That LA Kings goal was executed to perfection. They had the up cycle going. Usually teams cycle down low in the corners. The Kings like to cycle with the defense. So Doughty keeps the puck in, pushes it up the wall, and Kempe, reading the play, breaks off the wall, finds open space, and just makes a heck of a hockey shot. Like, I will rag on the Kings for being a bad team and structurally better defense. They play a trap. But they do play structure well, and they do things really well, like the up cycle. They are probably the best at the up cycle because of the talent they have on defense. Doughty, Anderson, Drury. They have really good offensive defensemen that do the up cycle very well. Now, that helped them score this. It helped them that Yamamoto didn't switch, so the defenseman didn't go with Kempe. It was Yamamoto, and that's a mixed match all day, every day. If I'm a Kings fan, I'm going to take Kempe over Yamamoto driving the net all the time. It still took a hell of a shot. It took a precision shot to get the goal, and that's what the Kings needed. It's 3-2 after one. We're breathing a little harder in Edmonton. We're living a little bit. We've got some wiggle room. But we know what happened in Game 4 when the wiggle room wasn't there. We had to press the entire time. I was thinking the Kings would press harder in the second period. I thought this is season on the line for the Kings. They're still down 1. They haven't had a power play yet, which I was shocked at. But hey, refs let them play. After the first period, the shots were 12-13 for the Oilers. 0 for 1 on the power play. 1 for 1 on the power play where the Oilers 0 for 0 for the Kings in the first period. And at that point, I was thinking in my head, oh shoot, are we having a reverse comeback? Are the Kings going to do to us what we did to them on Sunday? Are the Kings going to have the best period they've ever had in these playoffs in the second period? Are the Kings going to come out, score a goal early? Maybe momentum gets them a power play or two, and they score on one of the 2 power plays. That was my thought process. I was like, I'm glad the Oilers are winning, but I'm not going to get overhyped by this lead because it's a 1-goal lead against a very, very good coached and a very, very well-structured LA team. They don't have the same guys that they had when they had their cup runs, minus Kopitar and Doughty. But they've got the pedigree from Kopitar and Doughty to show the younger guys the playoff style, what it takes to win in playoffs. So thankfully, second period starts, and wow, you wouldn't know it, but you'd honestly think that Bukestad was a top 6 guy that should have been on top 6 the whole time. Bukestad scores a goal assisted by CC and Nurse. Now, what a tip. Like, CC and Nurse pass it back to each other. They're a little bit of passy-passies. And I don't mind the defense playing catch every once in a while. It opens up the ice. It makes the forwards attack you. It clears space for the front of the net. That's why I like our defense to move the puck quicker and with purpose. Not just move it blindly, like throw it into the corner or throw it into the slot because you might think McDavid or Draisaitl or Kane or Hopkins or Bukestad or Costin or going to be there and tip it in or be there and collect the puck. Move the puck with pace and move the puck with purpose. That is what I feel that Nurse and CC did that sequence. Again, the Oilers' forecheck was on point and dominant in that period of time. They hemmed the Kings in for a while, and it was just a snipe. Like, that Bukestad tip, it's a tip and a beauty. Like, the goalie had no shot. And then we get into some fun time. Oilers go back on the power play. Hyman takes a I will go back to my face because I can't say this with a straight face. I'm sorry, guys. Bouchard takes a muffin slap shot. Like, I mean, if he hit it any softer, you could have called it a whiff. It was like he was golfing and he was just trying to do a flop shot, but the flop really didn't work out. It bounces off of Hyman's face and in the net. And it's a good thing it wasn't your regular 95-mile-an-hour Bush bomb slap shot. Because if it was your Bush bomb slap shot, that wouldn't have gone in the net, and we wouldn't be talking happy about Hyman right now. We'd be wondering if he's going to play Game 6. Thankfully for us Oiler fans, it was a muffin top of a shot. It fluttered. It just grazed his cheek and in the net. Again, you can't fault Korpisalo for that. Like, bounces are happening. And I, for one, am glad that the Oilers are getting the bounces. Boy, did LA almost get a bounce themselves. Earlier in the game, there was a muffin shot from Kempe. And, I mean, he whiffed on the shot. Like, I think he had more air pushing that puck than stick. Bounced off a few bodies and hit the post. I mean, any other game, that doesn't hit the post, that goes in the net, and the Oilers aren't up 3-1 or 2-1 at the time. We are tied 2-2. Instead, now we're talking about a 5-2 Oilers lead. I'm trying to catch up here. Yeah, we're talking about a 5-2 Oilers lead, but again, assists go to Bouchard and McDavid. McDavid had himself a quiet night. Korpisalo gets pulled after that. I don't know if it was the right move by LA, but it was a move. Maybe McClellan was taking notes from Jay Woodcross saying, well, if it worked for him, why wouldn't it work for me? Unfortunately, it didn't. And the shots after the second period were a measly 7-8 for the Oilers. Again, second period power plays. Kings have yet to have a power play. Oilers got one. They went 1-for-1 on it. Now, we move into the third period. Kings finally get a power play. They get their first power play. And they didn't do anything with it. Like, it was prime opportunity. You're down 5-2. And you have a power play and you don't do diddly on it. I don't understand that. I don't understand how is there no urgency? This is Game 5 of first round matchup where you know that if you win this series, chances are good that you're going to the Cup final. because I don't think there's any team in the West that's going to be able to stop either the LA Kings or the Edmonton Oilers. They're not going to be able to stop the defensive style they have. They're not going to be able to stop the scoring prowess that they have. My full-hearted belief is the winner of this series will be the Stanley Cup champion when all is said and done. But it's not going to be the Kings after this performance. They had plenty of opportunity to show that they had something. And what I saw was even when they were down 5-2, they played the trap. And it annoyed me a little bit that Kulak and the Oiler players didn't up the puck. They were just sitting back there waiting for the Kings to attack. I get that. I am fully aware that that is how you should play. You run out the clock as much as possible. But it's just like, why? Like, why are the Kings not forechecking? They're down massive at this point. They're down by 3. They're down 5-2, and you're not even caring about a forecheck. You're so worried about letting McDavid and Draisaitl beat you up the ice that you're not even trying to attack the defensemen. Who, don't get me wrong, the Oilers defensemen aren't the greatest puck movers. So if you attack them with pace and with presence, 8 out of 10 times you're going to win that puck battle. Especially with Bouchard, Broberg, Desharnais. Like 8 out of 10 times you're going to make them make mistakes because they're young and they're impressionable. You put pressure on those guys, they're going to make mistakes. Kings didn't do it, and I don't know if that was the right play or not. That was a bad play to me, just to let the Oilers diddle themselves in their own zone with the puck. But hey, what do I know? I just watch a hockey game from my chair. Oilers get another goal. Bukestad with another bouncer. For a while there, they were saying it was Hyman's goal. Definitely didn't touch Hyman. Unfortunately, Anderson kicked it in. Good job, Mikey. Keep that good work up. Checks in the mail, bud. Checks in the mail. Assisted by Hawkins and Bouchard. Sorry. Was that Bouchard? Or was it just Hopkins? Oh, my neck. No, it was just Hopkins. They took the Bouchard assist away. It was Hopkins. 6-2 is now the score for the Oilers. And it's garbage time. The Oilers aren't putting their best players out anymore. They're cycling 3 lines, essentially 2.5. You're not seeing McDavid as much. You're not seeing Draisaitl as much. And you shouldn't, because now that you're up by that much, you don't want a Kings team. And if I offend any Kings fans in this video, sorry, not sorry. You don't want a bullshit baby clown Kings team taking liberties with McDavid, Draisaitl, Hopkins, Hyman, even Kane to an extent. You don't want those guys taking liberties with your star players, getting them hurt before Game 6. So what Woodcroft did was he put out Kane, he put out Bukestad, he put out Kostin, he put out Yamamoto. McLeod got some time. The bottom 6 got time, and it's good to see. Smart coaching. Byfield scores, makes it 6-3. Another hard-working goal. I will not take anything away from Byfield on that. Found the empty area. I will say this, though. This is my one critique on that goal. Bouchard, my man, you're a defenseman. Head on a swivel. When you look back and you're like, oh, there's nobody covering Byfield in front, I'm going to stop at the post. I'm not going to fully puck pursue behind the net. Unfortunately, Bouchard hasn't learned that lesson yet. Maybe it'll be a lesson he learns as he's older in his later 20s, not his early 20s. But he can't full puck pursue. If he stopped at the post and even put a stick down at the post, that pass doesn't get through. We're talking about a 6-2 win, not a 6-3 win, but I'm nitpicking at this point. Oilers win, 3 down, 13 to go. Play La Bamba, baby. Your final shots of the night were Kings 28, Oilers 27. Power plays 0 for 1 for the Kings, 2 for 3 for the Oilers. Skinner, Nurse, and Bukestad are your 3 stars, in my opinion. And yes, unfortunately, Kings fans, You had your opportunity to win this series in Game 3. You blew it. You had double the opportunity to win this series in Game 4. You blew it. You're not winning the series in Game 7. The Oilers are not going to give you that chance to play in Edmonton again. They figured out Korpisalo. And that's all there is to it. The Oilers have finally figured out the Rubik's Cube that is Korpisalo. Kings got some questions they have to answer. Good thing for the Kings, the game's not till Saturday. Time is to be determined. Why? Because it all hinges on the Vegas-Winnipeg game tomorrow night. If Vegas wins tomorrow night, then obviously they won the series. There will be no Jets-Vegas game. If the Jets find a way to win tomorrow night, they play on Saturday as well. Can't have both games going at 8 o'clock in Winnipeg. In LA, who gets the 2 o'clock start? Do the Oilers-Kings play at 2 o'clock? Or do the Jets and Knights play at 2 o'clock? I'm thinking it'd be an 8 o'clock game regardless, because the Oilers and the Kings have yet to play a Saturday night playoff game this season. Saturday night prime time elimination game. McDavid versus Doughty. Kopitar versus Draisaitl. Kane versus Anderson. Hyman versus Arvidsson. Kempe versus Hopkins. Skinner versus Korpisalo or Copley. Endless possibilities. Endless storylines. Anyways, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you for watching Oilers After Dark. This has been episode 122. Post-game reaction of the Kings-Oilers Game 5 Series 1, Round 1 in the 2023 playoffs. Thank you for watching. All of us at Oilers After Dark, be safe. This video is brought to you by Oilers After Dark and your host, Matt. We'll be back live streaming on Saturday at 8 p.m. Oilers-Kings Game 6. We are real Oilers talk for the Oilers fan.